Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Josh. This is Talking Smarks on February 19th, 2024. Happy Monday, everybody. It has been another wild week in the professional wrestling industry. The WrestleMania main event is getting a lot clearer after the absolute chaos that was the kickoff press conference with The Rock turning heel and Cody Rhodes choosing Roman Reigns, and The Rock slapping the taste out of Cody Rhodes' mouth. We finally got a follow-up segment this past Friday on Smackdown. It was the final segment of the whole show. You had the Bloodline come out with Roman Reigns, the big grandiose entrance that we all know and love, and Roman's just going into how it's going to be the biggest night in WWE history. He's calling out the people that are cheering for Cody as a Cody chant breaks out in the crowd. He goes, "Oh yeah, Cody, the guy who ruined everything." And the whole plan was, depending on who you ask, some sources are saying that the original plan was to be Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. Some are saying that this whole thing is just a giant work. No one really knows the true answer, and something tells me that we're not going to know the true answer to this for a long, long time. But either way, it's making for great television. Roman goes back to explain how it's going to be the biggest night in WWE history because The Rock is joining the Bloodline. The Rock comes out. He still has the same theme music that he's been using pretty much since he came back to the WWE in 2011 when he had the whole run with John Cena and then the title program with CM Punk. The whole 9 yards, he still has that theme, but this isn't the same, hokey, cartoony, babyface Rock that we've kind of gotten used to over that last decade or so. No, he came out wearing like this Versace, this very flamboyant, this very over-the-top Versace shirt that was basically shaped like a vest and dark sunglasses. Anybody who remembers 1999 knows that look. It's also kind of a hybrid because in 2003, he went kind of an updated version of this look. That was the classic Hollywood Rock. But make no mistake, this is not your babyface Rock. This isn't your, it's about drive, it's about power Rock. No. This is the heel Rock. This is the Rock that could turn an entire arena against him. And you still were glued to every word that this man said. Honestly, just as a longtime fan and remembering those days watching the original heel Rock from the 90s as well as Hollywood Rock, this was just like, oh, my childhood all over again. And he is destroying the crowd. Keep in mind, they're in Utah. They're in Salt Lake City. This is LDS Central. He cracks several jokes regarding that particular faith, making jokes about how you can go and tell your 50 wives, polygamy joke, and then about the 600 inbred grandchildren. Well, that joke just writes itself. So, and he's just tearing into this crowd, but this crowd just will not, this crowd just lets him have it, but they don't ignore him. You can't ignore The Rock. He's just very, very good at what he does. The part that got me the most is there is a slightly overweight fan in the crowd just being extremely vocal regarding everything that The Rock is saying. And The Rock straight up basically tells him to shut his mouth or he's going to slap the herpes off his mouth. And I just about died. How he's able to get away with some of these lines. Well, he's The Rock. Are you really going to tell him no? It doesn't really work too well. People have yet to figure this out. And he also tears into, and this still feels more reality based rather than just your typical pro wrestling promo. The Rock is just going into how we could have had the biggest WrestleMania match of all time with Roman Reigns and The Rock, but all the Cody crybabies ruined it. Talks about how not everybody gets to finish the story. Brings up the example of the Super Bowl just this past week where the Chiefs beat the 49ers. Talks about how the 49ers didn't just, whine and be like, oh, well, what about our story? Because they haven't had any title success in a while. And he says, nope, they took their beating like men. They dust themselves off. They get back in line to do it again. Same with Cody. That not everybody gets to finish their story. Like, this felt very reality based, because if the rumors are indeed true and WWE pivoted the main event at the last second to appease that fan backlash, we'll never know for sure. And if we do end up finding out, it's not going to be until years down the line. I'm calling it right now. The Rock finally concludes with saying that he's going to do absolutely everything in his power to make sure that Cody walks out of WrestleMania a loser. Before joining the Bloodline in the Bloodline pose, the We the Ones, where they point one finger up to the sky. But The Rock does it a little bit differently. Depending on who you ask, it could be like he's doing the guns up sign from Bullet Club Gold. He could be doing an L, trying to call Cody a loser. Maybe he just forgot that the Bloodline pose is only one finger. No one knows. Is this intentional? Is this not intentional? Who really knows? Only he knows, honestly, because he's The Rock. But we're going to see where this goes. This angle has me extremely excited. It seems like WWE is really starting to delve more into reality with this main event booking, which I'm all for. When you have storylines that kind of blur the lines between reality and kayfabe, that's when you really get the most compelling television, if you ask me. Now, keep in mind, there are some storylines that can be very fantasy-based and very, good versus evil kind of thing can be excellent. But in this kind of era, we haven't seen the WWE really bring out like a more reality-based storyline like this in a really long time. And I'm excited for it because it feels real. It doesn't feel like Cody Rhodes and The Rock and Roman Reigns aren't just acting like these characters. It feels like there's something very real here. A real sort of animosity between everybody. And I can't wait to see how it goes. We still got a few more weeks. No, we still have almost 2 months until WrestleMania. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. I hope you all are as excited for this as I am. Also on the AEW side of things, Dynamite was just absolutely excellent. You have Dax Harwood and Jon Moxley beating the ever-living tar out of one another. That was just basically which grumpy, angry man is going to be the grumpiest, angriest man at the end of that match. And then Matt Taven, we've all known, especially those of you who saw his work in Ring of Honor or his stuff potentially even on the indies. He's a great wrestler. People forget because he does kind of get lost in the shuffle of the Undisputed Kingdom because, the main emphasis there, you got Wardlow, you got Roderick Strong, you have Adam Cole, obviously being the ringleader. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett get kind of lost in the shuffle there, but this main event match, this Texas Death match with Orange Cassidy, absolutely incredible. That shot of Matt Taven literally diving headfirst, basically yeeting himself out of the ring and into a table. That's going to be just like an all-time classic wrestling moment. I'm calling it now. I was dead. I'm like, that looked like it hurt, but just the camera angle, the way they shot it just looked so unbelievably funny. It was absolutely incredible. Like I say, wrestling's just firing on all cylinders right now, and we just have to kind of keep that momentum going, and I'll be happy to keep bringing all of this to you over the next coming weeks. We'll see what it all builds to. And once again, I do thank you all so much for listening, and you all have a great rest of your day, and stay safe out there, everybody, because it's a crazy world.